Hi everyone. In response to a few requests from some of my subscribers, I've removed the background music to my original tutorial on Magix Music Maker. Other than that, the rest of it remains the same. Thank you for your comments and I hope you enjoy. Hi everyone. Now, I've never done a video tutorial in my life. So to all the professional users of Magix Music Maker Premium 2017, please bear with me. I'm doing this purely for the benefit of the absolute beginner. When you start Magix, you're presented with this screen. The opening screen is, do you want to create a new project, load a project or load a demo song? What we're going to do is just create a new project and say OK. Now all I'm going to do is to make a piece of music for you using 3 notes and nothing more. Just 3 major notes. When you've got this screen in front of you, you can ignore this top track here, or you can just click on the MIDI record and turn it off. Ignore that, that means nothing. Down the left hand side here we have tracks, and this is where you put each individual instrument. On the right hand side you have your music pools, or sound pools as they call them, and then on the right of that you have the instruments available in that music pool. Just below that you then have what they call a pitch. Unfortunately, Magix doesn't give you a note to play, it gives you a pitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. These actually represent the major notes on the keyboard, which is C, D, E, F, G, A and B, which correspond to this keyboard here, C, D, E, F, G, A and B, and it goes back to C again. But I'm not going to complicate things with any of that at all. All we're going to do is put a simple piece of music down. What I'm going to do is select ambient interfaces and we'll have the strings. What we're going to do is select orchestral strings. And we're going to drag that into any track you like here. Doesn't matter where, you can put it anywhere you like in any of these tracks. What we're going to do then is use number 4, and you can click and drag one of those. Hold the left mouse button down while you drag it. As it happens, you don't have to select the note and then the instrument. You can actually just drag the note onto the screen as well. Like so. So we've now got a 1, a 4 and a 5 on the orchestral strings in the ambient interfaces. And if we play that, tap the space bar, it sounds a little bit like this. Tap the space bar to stop. As you can see at the top here, it says C, F and G. What I'm going to do now is just copy that 6 times. Now to copy, if you notice here, we're going to run out of space on the screen to copy it. If you click anywhere away from the music, it'll unhighlight anything there. If you left click and drag the highlight cursor, it will highlight the music for you. And if you then hold the control key down on the keyboard and drag and drop that to the end of the next bar, let it go, drag and drop that to the end of the next bar, let it go. As you can see, we're starting to run out of space. What you can do is here you've got a zoom level, and if you hit the enlarge time selection you can see more zoom. As you can see at the moment we've copied 1, 2. So we want to copy this piece again. So again, hold the control key down and copy it 3, put it up to the end. Make sure it doesn't overlap. If it overlaps it will fade into the next piece of music. 3, 4, 5, 6, like so. What I ought to mention at the moment is the actual amount of playtime here is at the top of the screen. What will happen when you play it, it will play to the end of this and then repeat it. You can drag this all the way to the end of the screen. That makes sure that it will play the whole of this instrument. So if we tap the space bar, we get a complete repetition of this. Okay, that's simple enough. Now let's go to, I don't know, let's pick another instrument. Let's select keys, and here again the keys have a pitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. And let's just select lullaby. At the moment it's playing on pitch 4, so let's select pitch 1. And let's drag and drop one of those. Let's just stop that a minute. If you click it the second time, it stops it. Click it, it plays it. Click it, it stops it. If you remember here, we've got 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, 1, and so on. So all I'm going to do is match every single note of this to that. What we're going to do is just use pitch 1, click on that and drag it to the same pitch 1 there. 1, 4, 5, 1. That's a 1. And then we'll have a 4. And then we'll have a 5. And we're going to repeat that one all the way to the end of here. So we left click again, highlight that on the screen, hold the control key down on the keyboard and copy that to the other one, copy it again, copy it again, copy it again, and again. What we have now, what you can do here is you can actually move where the play cursor starts. So just on this cursor line here, if you click there, it'll play it from that point rather than playing all of it. So let's just play that. Press the space bar. And as you can hear, we now have the keys playing in the same notes. Now you may notice that this is rather loud. Now I said I wasn't going to go into any details, but we need to control the volume of each of the tracks, and on the right hand side of each of the track is an effects tab, and because this one is a little bit too loud, if we click on this effects tab, drop it down, ignore all of these and just click on the very top one, audio effects rack, for that track. What it will do is bring up all sorts of stuff that you can do here. Ignore all of these for now. You can change the frequency and the pitch and blah blah blah. All we need to do is to turn the volume down slightly, and here's the master volume on the right hand side. So all we're going to do is drop that down to, say, let's take it down to -6 decibels. You can take it down further and close it. That will add that effect to this track only. And if you tap the spacebar now and play it, you'll find that that is not quite as loud, and you can hear this keys track a little bit louder. And there we have it. Some instruments are a little bit louder than others, and you do have to adjust the actual volume of the tracks. Once you've actually set an effect on a track, you will get this highlight here that tells you that there is an effect being applied to that track, but don't worry about it. This here is just a highlight that was the last piece of music I copied. Makes no difference. Click away from it any way you like and it just unhighlights it. What I'm going to do now is let's put some drums in there. Click on the drum section. Now you can select any of these drums. If you click on them, you get all sorts of different sounds available to you. But what I'm going to use is Filigree A, which is a novel kind of drum. That'll do. If you notice on the drums, they don't have a pitch because drums do not have a pitch, apart from kettle drums, but I'm not going to talk about that. So what I'm going to do is drag that to the first A, the first available A after the first one, i.e. the third A. So we're going to have that to run all the way through the track. Now with any instrument that you put down on Magix, you can actually extend it, but if the screen is zoomed out, you can't get hold of all of the pieces that are available to you. If we now zoom in slightly, you can now see more information on the tracks. And on that drum track that we've just put down, you've got the hand there that actually moves it, and you can move it wherever you want, and you can put it where you like. But once you've actually got more zoom, if you notice when you get to the edge, you can now get a horizontal arrow and you can get a diagonal arrow. The diagonal arrow will actually change the volume of that instrument, and the horizontal arrow will allow you to drag it all the way to wherever you want to go. So you can drag that to the end of the tracks we've got. Because these are repetitions, all of the tracks in Magix are repeated. So even though you put one little piece down, like any of these, you can actually change them and drag them and repeat them. As an example, if I just copy this down here for now, I can actually expand this one and it will repeat, just continue to repeat. Let's just highlight that and delete it. We don't need that at the moment. Now let's zoom to the entire project. Okay, so this is the whole project. We now know that from this point it sounds like this, and it changes notes there, but let's try playing from this point. And let's just stop that. As you can tell now, we've got a drum beat. So we've got some strings, we've got some keys, and we've got some drums. Now let's try putting a little bass in it. And what we'll do, we'll actually put the bass in the same place as the drums. We'll put the bass at the same starting point here, at the start of the drums. So click on the bass key, click on the bass tab, and I'm going to use Highway. It sounds strange on its own, but let's try using that. Just stop that. Again, you've got pitch for the bass because a bass guitar can obviously change its pitch. Drums can't. So again, let's use number 1, and we'll put number 1 there. We'll use a 4, and we'll put a 4 there, and a 5, and we'll put a 5 there. And you can almost guess what we're going to do again. Left click and drag and highlight that, and we're going to copy it. Again, hold the control key down on the keyboard and drag it and copy it, drag it, copy it, drag and copy, drag and copy. So now where the drum started before, click here again, and we've got a little bit of background bass in there as well. As you can tell, that bass is nowhere near as pronounced as you thought it was going to be when you first played it on its own. Let's stop that. What I'm going to do now is add a sequence in. Let's go to the sequences, And don't forget, you can just add these from anywhere. You can pick these from any of your sound pools. I'm just making this very simple by sticking to the one sound pool. So in the sequences we've got various different sounds in here. What I'm going to use is blow. Stop that. And again, here we have 1 4 5 1 4 5 1 4 5 1. And what I'm going to do is to put one of these blow sequences in the next one there. Again, it doesn't matter where you put it, you can put it in any of these layers that you want, any track you like. It's just simple just to drop it there. And Magix doesn't care where you put it. There is no preference to the volume of each track. You control that yourself. So we've got a 1, let's have a 4 and a 5. You don't have to highlight all these like this. There's nothing stopping you going back and putting another 1 in there, another 4 in there, another 5 in there, etc, etc. But it's just easier to actually click and drag, hold the control key down and copy it, like so. So we now know we've got drums and bass there. So let's put the start pointer there and let's play it from there. Press the space bar. Okay, let's stop that. Right, let's add a little bit of something else there. This is quite literally just to show you how to add instruments. Let's put a glockenspiel in it. A little bit of a tinkle. Again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're still using 1, 4 and 5, so we want number 1. And let's put a glockenspiel on that number 1. We still know that we've got 1 4 5 1 4 5 1, etc. So we'll have a 4 next to it and a 5, and then we'll copy that again to the end. Hold the control key down, click and drag, copy that, and we'll copy that. So now we'll play it from this point here. Press the space bar. Okay, let's stop that. At the moment, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 instruments. Now there is actually an instrument light here, and that is the guitar, and it's actually an AC chord guitar, and this sounds quite nice on its own, but it's very quiet. Let's stop that. Now what I'm going to do is put the guitar in the same place as the glockenspiel. So again, select pitch 1, click and drag, put a 1 there, put a 4, put a 5, and again click and highlight, left click, control key, and copy that. Click away from it. Now let's put this, now let's play from here again. Now if you notice, that guitar is rather quiet, but it is noticeable. Let's stop that. We could do with turning this guitar up a little bit. So if we click on the effects rack here and go to the audio effects for that track, again ignore all of this. Here we have the main volume for it. Let's turn that up by, let's say 4 dBs, and then just close that. That will put an effect on that track to turn that guitar up. So let's play it again from there. Okay, that's a little better. Now you may notice that that guitar is a little bit delayed, i.e. it's a little bit after the pulse. Let's just play this back from here. If you play from there, if you listen, the guitar is very fractionally delayed. See? It's a little bit after the initial thump of the beat. What you can do with that is left click your mouse button. Let's select that guitar, left click and drag, select the whole of that guitar. Now if you click on the zoom button here, this one, it will zoom and highlight only that instrument that you've got. So that is the whole of that guitar sequence you've just put in. Now what we want to do is to make it play very slightly sooner than it is. So what we need to do is move this backwards or forwards. Now it's no good moving it like this because this is too big. This is the whole of the guitar section. We only need to move it a fraction. So what we need to do is click on the zoom here and keep zooming in. Don't worry about the fact the guitar's disappeared. Drag and click this slider until you see the start of this guitar. You've still got the whole of the guitar selected, but it needs a very, very fine tweak. Again, I've zoomed in and I've lost it, but scroll across and find it. Now just click and drag that an absolute fraction to the left, not to the whole bar. If you put it there, the guitar will play before the beat. And then we can zoom back out. Now let's play this again. Let's go a little bit further along and play from there. What does that sound like? Now that sounds a little bit better. And we'll stop that. I think you'll agree that that guitar sounds much better just for being a fraction early. Right then, we're almost finished here. We've produced a piece of music with a few tracks on it. But if we go to the end, let's just get it to play from the last one from the end. And there it ends. It's a slight abrupt end. So what I want to do is put another guitar strum on the end of this, and what I'm going to do is to copy this one here, which is pitch 1. Again, control key, click and drag, and I'm going to put that onto the end of there. So the end now sounds a little bit like this. Okay, that's fine, but it's a little bit bland. So what I want to do is put a drum on the end of it, just to give it a bit of oomph at the end. Let's pick a drum out. That'll do. Let's put that on the end of the drums, and then we'll play that from the very end and see what that sounds like. Well, that's a little bit better. Let's zoom to the entire project again, and let's play the whole thing from the start. Click on the very start here and let's play it.